HarperCollins presents The Half of It, written and read by Emma Slade Edmondson and Nicole.
Trigger warning. This audio contains racist language that is offensive. The language used reflects personal experience, and we have chosen not to omit this in order to reflect the realities of the people and communities we have spoken to for this book.
I'm Emma.
And I'm Nicole.
And we're the creators of the Mixed Up podcast. For my mum, who now it seems always knew who I was going to be. You once told me that children are not yours to keep, but merely to prepare as best you can to send out on their way. I hope this book helps other parents do just that. And for my dad, who stitched himself up royally with the dads know best shtick. You'll never get out of being on speed dial for my questions. I love you. For all of you who needed this book, I hope you feel seen in some small way.
To Mom and Dad, there is no me without you.
Introduction. The meeting of minds that started it all. An effort to begin with the personal in order to arrive at the universal. Johnny Pitts, Afropean, Notes from Black Europe, 2019. Emma. A friend of mine once told me that all of her friends are mixed race. Initially I thought, nah, that's not true, you're exaggerating. But I quickly mentally catalogued her friendship circle and realised that she was being wholly truthful. She told me that this was purposeful because only other mixed-race people understood her lived experiences. I've thought about this a lot recently because it speaks to the almost magnetic attraction I had to my friend and now podcast co-host, Nicole. I had eyed her across the modern-day bar, Instagram, and thought, I'd like to hang out with her. We'd get on. I had this uncanny instinct that we would be friends. At the time, I was working on a behaviour change campaign aimed at converting fast fashion lovers to second-hand clothing, and knowing that Nicole was an influential fashion blogger, I reached out to her. When we eventually came face-to-face, our chatter spilled out over the table. Our specific shared experiences, understanding, and instant kinship kept our conversation flowing until our husbands began to ring our phones, wondering where we'd got to. Our stories overlapped and intertwined, dancing around each other without touching, sometimes mirroring, and sometimes being polar opposites, different accents, parents from different continents, and yet we were the same. Somehow, we are the same. Nicole and I shared stories of growing up in the US and UK, respectively, her heritage being Ghanaian Filipino, and mine Jamaican British, as though we were breaking bread, gobbling down the details, knowing these shared stories would fill us up for a short while, but at the same time wanting the moment to last. That afternoon when we first met, Nicole and I talked about battling with our hair, the nightmare of going to either a white or indeed a black hair salon, and the 1990s hoodwink that was John Frieda's frizzies. This was the universal con that summons a gulp of shame to the back of the throat of almost any person of mixed race who's been taught by society that they must tame their hair. We talked about our parents, the impact of attending majority white schools, the othering we experienced from multiple communities, and of boyfriends who we discovered wanted us because of our visual proximity to the few melanated celebrities they saw as exotic and exciting. We bonded quickly, because although the mixed race experience is different for all of us, there is something in it that binds us. And yet within the mixed community, there is also mystery, because it often feels as though someone somewhere made an unwritten rule that no one ought to speak of our unified experience. And in truth, this is probably partly down to our own self-censorship. For my part, I know that I've taught myself to subconsciously filter and temper words, to steady difficult subject matters that might cause offence, treating them delicately as though I were a waitress in a restaurant, balancing steaming hot plates of racial tension. I don't mean to sound as though this is in any way a hardship for me personally. It's not at all. In fact, it comes pretty
Sample complete. Ready to continue?